Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today we're going to be getting into this hair and makeup tutorial, so if you're interested in seeing how I got this look, then just go ahead and keep on watching. I am going to be doing the hair first. I always do my hair first when I'm like getting ready and everything, or when I'm doing tutorials and stuff. That's just like my routine and everything. Hair first, then makeup. So the hair that I'm going to be using for today is from UNice Hair Company. Shout out to them for sponsoring this video. They provided the wig that I'm going to be styling today. I'm not going to go too much into detail about like the wig installation for this video because I feel like I've showed you guys this like a couple of times already on my channel. You guys have like seen me do the bald cap method and all that other stuff like a million times over on my other tutorials and stuff. So I'm just gonna let you guys watch, this part where I'm like doing the bald cap method, and then I'll go into more detail later on about how I actually got the hairstyle. So I'm all done with the bald cap method. I'm gonna start installing this wig now. Again, this wig is from UNice Hair Company. This hair is super soft. There was very little shedding, and it's really long. I think they sent over about like 26 inches, but I'm loving it. I've been really into like long hair these days. I am gonna be leaving all of the information for this wig down below in the description box. So if you guys have any other questions, definitely double check the description box or let me know down below in the comments. So I'm installing this wig using the Got To Be hairspray like I always do. I'm just going to spray that throughout the hairline and little sections, and then I'll use my blow dryer to dry it all the way down. So the wig is on. I'm going to go ahead and start styling it now. I initially did baby hairs for this hairstyle, but I ended up combing these back and doing like a little bang, because by the time I was actually done like styling the hair with like the flat twists and everything, I felt like the style kind of needed something extra, and that's when I added like the little bangs in the front. But I still wanted to show you guys how it looked like, with the baby hairs, just in case you guys wanted to try the style that way. It still looked very cute with just like the styled baby hairs, but for me, I just kind of wanted something a little bit extra for the hairstyles, so I ended up pushing the edges back and just adding like a little bang in the front. But I still wanted to show you guys how I got these baby hairs because they came out really good, and I really like the way that they look. I'm definitely going to be like recreating like this like type of style like for my next wig, but I still wanted to show you guys because yeah, they came out really good. And just in case you guys want to try this hairstyle with just edges and no like bangs in the front, you guys can kind of see what it looks like with just the baby hairs. I pretty much use the Ebon Edge Control to style those edges, as well as a little bit of the Got2b hairspray. I used a mixture of both just to lay everything down. Once I had the edges done, I went into creating my flat twist. I started off by creating a middle part in the frontal, and then I went into my first flat twist by making another part right beside it. Kind of like I did with the edges, I'm going to use a little bit of that edge control, make it a lot easier to kind of grip the hair, and then I'll, you know, do the flat twist, and I'll use the Got2b hairspray to basically set that flat twist so it doesn't unravel. I'm only using bobby pins in the back to secure these flat twists, so I'm making sure to use lots and lots and lots of hairspray to set those twists down. I also have my hot comb next to me. You definitely want to use your hot comb before you create your flat twist to mold the parts into place, and that'll just make it a lot easier to form your twists, you know, have the hair going in the right direction. So this is pretty much what the style looked like with just the edges and flat twists, and it's super cute, but like I said, I kind of wanted something a little bit extra for this hairstyle. It was kind of like missing something for me, so that's when I went in and added those little like bangs towards the front there. So I pushed the edges back, and I used my rat tail comb to part the, you know, hair that I wanted to use as a bang. I used my hot comb to press that hair into place. Make sure you're very, very, very careful with this part, because I did burn my forehead, you know, trying to create those little bangs there. So just make sure you're really careful not to like touch your skin or get your hot comb too close to your skin. You don't want to burn yourself like I did. Once I was done, you know, getting that hair into place, I just went over everything using my flat iron just to really make sure that the hair is nice and straight. But that's pretty much it for the hair, guys. Let me know down in the comments which you prefer better, the flat twists with the edges only or with the little bangs in the front. I personally prefer the bangs. I just think it added something like, you know, I don't know, but it just made like everything like kind of come together the way that I was hoping for. So now that the hair is done, I'm gonna go ahead and move into the makeup. So to start off this makeup look, I'm gonna be carving underneath the brow first. To carve underneath the brow and conceal the inner and outer portion of the lid, I'm gonna use a mixture of 2 different shades of the Covergirl Trublend concealer. This concealer dries super matte, so it works really well as like a base for eyeshadow. I definitely still prefer to go in with the eyeshadow primer though. So as soon as I'm done applying my concealer, I'm gonna add my primer onto my lid and just blend that into the concealer. So for shadow, I'm first going to be jumping into the Ace Beauty Vintage Dawn palette, and I'm going to go into the shade Pyramid first, which is like a really warm reddish brown, and I'm going to add that onto the outer corner of the eyes. And I'm using a very small brush to do this. I'm making sure to use a light hand so I get a really smooth blend. I want all of the smokiness of this look to be on the outer corner, so I'm not going to take any of these shades too far inwards. The next color I'm going into is Fade, and this is much darker than our previous shade, so this is going to give the look a lot of depth. I'm using a slightly more tapered brush to apply this onto the outer corner as well. Once I'm done applying the color, I'm going to go in with my previous brush just to give that a good blend. Then for my last transition shade, I'm going into the BH Cosmetics Mimosa palette, and I'm taking the shade OJ, and I'm going to use this on the very outer edges of our second transition color to blend everything together. Then I'm going to add my lid shadow, so we're using that same BH Cosmetics palette. I'm going in with the shade Sunny, and I'm going to pack that onto the inner portion of the lid, and using that brush that I applied my last transition color with, I'm going to blend out the edges. So I wanted to add a little bit of something else to this eye look because I felt like with just the yellow and like the browns on the outer corner, it was kind of like looking really flat and boring. So I decided to add like a winged eyeliner. So I'm using a white eyeliner from Ofra Cosmetics. This is in a gel form, and using a little paintbrush that I got from Hobby Lobby, I'm going to draw out the shape of an eyeliner. I ended up going over this eyeliner twice. So the first time I was pretty much just like sketching out the shape. Then the second time over, that's when I made sure that everything was like super crisp and really opaque. Then next I'm going in with mascara. I'm using one from Huda Beauty. This is the Legit Lashes mascara. I'm gonna coat the top lashes, and then once I have that done, I'll go into applying my false lashes. The lashes that I'm using today are from CrvstalLashes, and these are in the style Chanel. So moving on to skin, I'm going to use the new One Size Beauty makeup wipes by Patrick Starr. Congratulations to Patrick on the launch of his new beauty brand. I'm so excited for him. These makeup wipes are ginormous. They are so huge and I'm loving it. But I'm going to use that to basically cleanse the skin because I had some concealer on my cheeks and everything because I've been super self-conscious about like my dark marks and everything. So I had some concealer on my face to, you know, cover all of those up while I was doing like the close-up of the eye look. So I'm going to wipe all of that off before I go into like my skincare and do my foundation. Next up, I'm using a new product from Murad as well. This is their clarifying oil-free water gel. I'm going to use this to moisturize the skin. I've been really loving the way this makes my skin feel, and it has some pretty impressive claims, so I've been using it to help also with, you know, like the dark marks that I have on my face right now, with hopes that over the course of the next few weeks they kind of fade away a little bit with the help of that. So then for some extra moisture, I'm going to be using the Farsali Rose Gold Face Oil. It's basically just like my cheeks that kind of get more on the dry side, so I'm going to use that to target those areas. Then for my T-zone, I'm using the Farsali liquid powder. I'm going to apply a couple of drops at a time onto the areas that I do get oily, so the forehead, the nose, a little bit onto the inner portion of my cheeks, and I'm gonna blend that into the skin using a flat foundation brush. I highly recommend this product if you are oily. It's definitely been a staple for me in my foundation routine. Then for foundation, I'm using an oldie but a goodie. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I'm really happy that they finally switched the packaging of this foundation because the formula of this is amazing, but the old packaging just kind of made it like super inconvenient to use. I remember like using this foundation all the time in the past and just getting kind of like frustrated with it because it didn't have a pump. You know, you had to pour it onto the back of your hand or your tray or whatever that you're using, and sometimes you pour too much. So yeah, I'm super happy that they finally like switched out the packaging because this foundation is actually really great and it makes it 10 times easier to use. I'm then going to add my concealer. I'm using that same concealer that I use to prime my eyes, so the Covergirl Trublend, and I don't know exactly which color I use. I think it's T100 if I'm not mistaken, but again, I'll make sure to put that information down below in the description box. I'm going to add that concealer on all the areas that I want to highlight, so the under eyes, the sides of the nose, the cupid's bow, the sides of the mouth, as well as the chin. I'm going to blend that out first using a brush, and then I'll go over everything once I'm done using a sponge. Next up, I'm going to be doing some cream contouring using the Black Opal Stick Foundation in Sweet Espresso. I'm adding that on all the areas that I want to create some depth. So mostly just the forehead, the cheekbones, and a little on the nose. I'm then going to add my cream blush. I'm using one from Milk Makeup, and I'm going to add that onto the apples of the cheeks. I like to use a cream blush prior to using my powder blush because it just makes the blush last a whole lot longer. I feel like it acts as like a base for everything, so your blush doesn't disappear as quickly. Then next, I'm going to set everything using the Too Faced Peach Perfect setting powder. I started off with that just setting the under eyes, and then I eventually used that to set the entire face. So as you guys know, I've been super into baking, so I'm going to be using the Beauty Bakerie Flour Setting Powder in the shade Cassava. If I had to do this routine again, I probably wouldn't have baked though, only because the concealer that I used from Covergirl, it dries really quickly and it's very, very matte. So having that concealer underneath the eyes and then, you know, adding like a setting powder over it and then baking on top of it, it was a little too much for the under eyes. So I feel like the next time I use this concealer, I probably won't bake because it is already like super matte on its own. I'm then going to add my powder bronzer. I'm adding this on top of all the areas that I did my cream contouring. This is the Vesca Beauty Soft Matte Bronzer in the shade Kiss by Cabo. I've been loving these so much. They're super pigmented, so you only need a very small amount. Then next I'm going to apply my powder blush. I'm using the BH Cosmetics Bellini blush palette, and I'm taking a mixture of these two blush shades and just popping that on top of the apples of the cheeks. You guys know how much I've been loving blush. Blush is like one of the few things that you can kind of go ham on, so I'm going to add quite a bit of it. Even with the cream blush, it still fades, but it's not as much. But if you do feel like you added too much blush, just take a large like fluffy brush with a little bit of powder foundation and go over it to tone it down. Then to highlight the nose, I'm using the shade Syrup from the BH Cosmetics Belgian Waffle Highlighter and Bronzer palette. I'm going to add that onto the bridge of the nose, the tip, and the sides of the nose. Going back to the eyes, I'm going to go back in with a mixture of those shades Pyramid and Fade, same two shades that we added on to the outer corner, and I'm going to start smoking out that lower lash line. And then for the waterline, I'm using a mixture of the BH Cosmetics Power Pencil in beige and the LA Girl Shockwave eyeliner pencil, I think it is. I'm not entirely sure what the exact name is, but it's the yellow one, and I'm gonna pop that on to the waterline. I decided to go with yellow because the lid is yellow, so the waterline means yellow. So everything kind of like matches together. Then I'll add my mascara to my lower lashes. I'm using the same one that I use for the top lashes, so the mascara from Huda Beauty, and then I'll go in and add my individual lashes to the lower lash line. I'm using the Ardell Double Ups, and these are the shortest ones. So I kind of fell in love with like the feathered brow look all over again. I feel like I go through like phases with my brows where I'll like more of like a fluffier brow or a feathered brow. Then I'll go into like, you know, doing more of a sculpted look. But right now I'm super into like the feathered look. So I'm going to use the J-Cat Beauty Eyebrow Contouring Pen, and this one is in the shade Brown. It's basically like your typical like eyebrow pen, but it has 4 little points. So it makes it super easy to get like those really perfect like faux brow hairs. So I'm going to use that to fill in all of these sparser areas of my brows. Then to set those brow hairs in place, I'm using the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. And then for the lips, I'm using a mixture of the NYX Slide On Glide On lip pencil in the shade Urban Cafe, as well as my Melt Cosmetics All Day Everyday lip liner in the shade Edible. As I always do, I use this lip liner for basically like every neutral lip look. It's just perfect. So I'm going to use the NYX eyeliner pencil first to line the lips, and then I'll use the Melt Cosmetics one to create more of like a contoured look. Then for my lipstick, I'm using the Glow Up Academy Soft Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Pout Me. It's the perfect like peachy nude. Once I have the color on, I'll use my pinky finger to blend it really well into the lip liner. I almost forgot my inner corner highlight, so I'm going to add that next. I'm using the white shade from the BH Cosmetics Mimosa palette. And then finally, to set the look, I'm using some Iconic London setting spray. This is one of their glow setting sprays. And that pretty much completes the look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this hair and makeup tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell if you guys want to get notified anytime that I upload. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.